YouTube world? My name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. And welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another Celebration of Cinema review. I'm sorry that this review was a little late. Trust me, you're not going to get many videos from me this week just because there's just not much to talk about, really. But with today's Celebration of Cinema review, we are reviewing one of my favorite films of all time, Creed 1 and 2. The only reason why I'm not reviewing Creed 3 is because I already have a review for it on my channel, which you can go watch now, and I reviewed back in March. But we're doing this in honor of the anniversary of Creed, as well as the late Creed 2 that came out about 5 years ago last week, but also Creed 1 is turned about 7 years old. No, wait. 8 years yesterday. For me, the Rocky films I just love. I reviewed Rocky last week. I just love that movie. It's just such a great movie. And with Creed, I'd probably say it's one of my other favorite Rocky films because it tells such a great story in continuing this franchise. But it's not as good as the original Rocky because that film's so original. The world's so original. And Creed is just a great sequel to that. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started talking about the Creed 1 and 2. What I love about this story for these two films is the first movie literally takes the silly premise about Apollo Creed's son, who is played by Michael B. Jordan, and somewhat finds himself, realizes he was in a group home because of this thing that happened in the past with him having an affair with his wife. This kid is now an orphan, been going to group homes and everything until he was raised with his new mom, and all of his life he's been a fighter, and that sets up his origin to be a boxer like Apollo. And that to me is a very interesting story, except if you really look at it, the first Creed is kind of like a repeat of Rocky, except the story of Adonis is a lot more interesting because, well, it's different because of his relationships, his relationship with Rocky, his relationship with the girl, with Bianca, and all of that, as he doesn't want to use his Creed name because he'll be made fun of the son of the guy that died years ago. But he has to honor it, but it's his name and he has to honor it. And I think that's a powerful story. And then you get into the second film, where it actually focuses on the people that killed his father, so he has to go fight them, and he loses, but he comes back strong, changes his whole life, and and after cooperating with all that, he needs to find a way to fight this guy again, because this is his destiny. It's not because he wants to do it because of his father. He needs to do it because this is his fight. And so yeah, and what's even crazy is including Creed 3, every Creed film is directed by someone different, and they're all amazing. The first film was directed by Ryan Coogler. The second film was directed by whoever that guy was. And then the third film was directed by Michael B. Jordan himself. And it's still good. Just a great trilogy of movies, but two great first films. So I just love the way they introduce characters into this movie. Especially in the first film, where of course I just love Adonis Creed's character. I love this character who is really just born in reality. That's the thing I loved about the Creed films, is that they took the world of Rocky and make the world a lot larger with characters that you care about, stories that are real. Whereas I feel like when I watch the Rocky movies, they kind of feel a little bit more cartoonish and not very realistic. That's part of the reason why I like Rocky Balboa. It's much more realistic, it's emotional, and it's a interesting story to that. With this, it dives into a lot of great stuff, and of course, Michael B. Jordan just does something so great. I mean, and even coming out the same year as Black Panther, amazing. Playing Cyborg in Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, fantastic. But then you also got great cast, of course. Sylvester Stallone coming back as Rocky, fantastic performance in both of these movies, and great setup for character arc. As once again they create something emotional for his character, where as an old man he is alone. He becomes the mentor for Adonis, but he also suffers cancer. Though he heals from it, you get Creed 2. He doesn't want to help Adonis because of what happened to his father. But then also he has a nice satisfying arc with going back to visit his son. And to me, that is great. And then of course you also got Tessa Thompson as Bianca, which I think throughout these movies she's pretty great. Also pretty hot, but she's just great as a character as a whole. So, but all the characters, they're all funny, they're all written, they feel like real people, and they're well written. That's the best thing about this movie, they're well written. Another good thing about this movie is, of course, the soundtrack. Of course, it plays present day music you would hear in movies. They tend to play this in a lot of big blockbusters nowadays. But some of these songs are quite fire. Especially and I'm specifically talking about in the training montages, which is also something that I think is pretty great. The training montages in this movie find a new way in the present day of boxing movies to be inspirational. And that's another one of the things I love about this movie is that, and really the entire franchise, is that they're meant to, while they are these realistic stories, these sports dramas, they're also meant to cater towards us and inspire us to keep flying high, to keep flying higher, to keep running faster, to keep training harder, to keep working harder. And I think that's great, and I think that even the score in the first Creed, even in the second film, it's powerful, and it's engaging, and it's emotional, and it's just thrilling, and it's awesome. So, I love the score and the soundtrack for this movie. And the final thing we gotta talk about here are the boxing scenes. Just to be clear here, I think the Creed films have easily the best boxing matches of all the Rocky films. I mean, the first Creed, when I first saw Black Panther, I was so surprised at how bad the fights were. And then you watch Creed and you're like, oh, Ryan Coogler can actually do good fights. And everybody watching Black Panther were like, so where were the fights that were in Creed? What happened? But the fights in Creed will not be forgotten. These fights are amazing. I just love the way they're all shot, and they all feel brutal, to where you actually feel like someone will be punched down. And then you get into Creed 2. But what's also, and they're even more powerful because of Victor Drago, bringing in the Dragos into the mix. And, Adonis getting punched in the face and getting his ribs broke. I mean, so many powerful stuff. But what's also very powerful about this is it's also the matches are meant to be the battles between our characters, as to kind of show character arcs. So when you get into the third act of the second movie, as you have this long ass battle as they're fighting to like the 12th round, and you know, both of them make punches. Adonis keeps getting knocked down. His ribs are broken, but then he gets knocked down one more time, and then he takes a minute and he gets back up and he goes out punching and he knocks Victor down, and you hear the music. And then he goes for it again, he knocks him down again, and then you see his mom in the background, going to leave. Disappointed. And you see the look on Victor's face like, no, come back. And you start to see Rocky and Drago are starting to see, I should throw in the towel. This has to stop. This, I have to call this. If my son keeps going on for any longer, if this boy is powerful, if I keep going on, my son will die just like your father. I understand now. And then when you go for those final punches, you actually start to feel emotional for our villain that actually put our hero in danger. So now you're feeling danger for our villain. Not to say that he's gonna make a mistake right now. He has the same powerful punches like he does, but you still feel scared and you feel emotional for him and you feel sad. And you feel sad when he loses, which I think is pretty profound. So that's my review for Creed 1 and 2. Happy 8 years. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye-bye.